Hey everybody, DM Jim here, and welcome to another episode of Game Terrain Engineering. In this episode, I'm going to be making another Gaslands vehicle. For those of you watching who are Gaslands players, if you are going to be attending Gen Con this year, which is in August, I believe, I am going to be running for Osprey Games the Gen Con Gaslands Tournament. It's going to be 3 qualifiers for 6 players each, and the winner from each of those qualifiers will go on to play the championship game, which will be, I believe the qualifiers are on Thursday night and the championship is on Friday night. I may be wrong. The reason I'm telling you this is May 6th, this Sunday, is coming up, and that's when Gen Con registration happens. So if you're a Gaslands fan and you're going to be attending Gen Con, definitely try and sign up. You don't have to bring cars. That's why I'm making cars, so that I'll have a bunch for players who sign up who don't have their own. So this episode, I'm going to be making this little fella right here. He's got a turreted cannon or gun on top that moves. He's also got a missile launcher on the back. Let's go to the table and I'll show you how I make this. And this one has some interesting parts that I'll tell you about in the description. All right, for this episode, I'm going to be using this car right here. It is the Crate Racer. It's sort of like a truck. And the interesting thing about this is when it rolls, this engine in it rocks. I don't know if you can see that. There's something in the wheel or one of the axles that bumps and causes that motor to move. I'm going to be gluing this in place so it doesn't do that. But what I want to show you in this episode is I found these on Thingiverse, and I will put a link to, below for the files that you can download. The guy who made these, I think his name is Ben. It's really well done. He made these small weapons, and there's more than one, and they rotate. They snap in and out. Let me see if I can get this one out. Yeah, there we go. This is printed, it's 2 parts, and there's little tiny bubbles here that snap into holes in here, so it keeps them locked in. And you can see the turret moves. And I really like this one, the missile launcher. This is 2 pieces, and you use a piece. You use a piece of filament here that you actually the 3D printer uses. You cut a little piece of it, it threads through a hole, and this moves as well. And I'm going to mount this onto the base that he provided. I'm going to trim these down once I'm done. And then this is going to be mounted on the back of the car and the turret on the front, like that. And of course, I'm going to do some weathering, and I'm going to take the chrome off this motor and give it more realistic colors. Changing the yellow, not sure yet where I'm going to go with that. But this is the vehicle I want to create. The weapons are a little oversized and a little cartoony, but I love that missile launcher on the back. I just think it's kind of funny. And I'm going to try to figure out how I can insert some small, sharp missiles in there. I may use the end of toothpicks. I'm just not sure. I'll experiment with a few things, and we'll see what I can come up with. So first thing I'm going to do is get everything glued on and then painted, and we'll see how this thing looks at the end. And that's how I made this little fella right here. Again, in the description below, I will put the links to the Thingiverse files so you can print this turret and the missile launcher. The missile launcher, remember, has toothpicks in it. You don't have to print those. So anyway, I hope you like that. This one's a nice little addition to my collection that's growing, and I'll be bringing this one to Gen Con later in the year. A couple things. If you are unaware, I have created a companion website to this channel. It's called GameTerrainEngineering.com. If you go there, you'll find, it's sort of like a blog, but there's some other things I'm going to be doing with it. There's a gallery of all the things I've made. I'm doing commentary that just doesn't fit in well with the channel. It's still game related. And then of course I'll be announcing new projects that I'll be doing sort of on the side. Some of the projects I'm doing are larger than others, and they don't lend themselves to video. Either because they're going to take me a long time and I don't want to string it out over months or years, hopefully not years, but you know, there's just some extra stuff there if you're interested in what I'm doing, games I'm playing. It's sort of stream of conscious type stuff. I try to post every day, and it's just basically anything having to do with my hobbies, gaming, crafting, things like that. So anyway, it's GameTerrainEngineering.com. I'll put a link below, but it's pretty easy to remember. So anyway, that's it for this episode. One more Gaslands car for the table there, and I hope you can duplicate this one. If you have a 3D printer, you can print these yourself. They print very quickly, very easily. If you don't have a 3D printer, ask a friend. They don't take a lot of plastic and a lot of time, so maybe you can get one of them to print you a couple of them. So anyway, this is DM Jim, and I'll see you in the next episode.